latest news break that we're getting in right now. All right, the latest news break coming in. Srinagar clash between students and police after schools reopen. All right, so these are the visuals that we are getting in, where clashes have been reported from Srinagar between students and the police. All of this in the backdrop of the Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister, who is right now in the national capital, meeting with the Prime Minister and the Home Minister regarding the tense atmosphere that pervades in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. All right, Ashraf Bani joins us live with more details on that story. Ashraf, can you get us up to speed with the latest developments? Because the Chief Minister is here trying to talk peace, trying to see what can be done to, calm the atmosphere where Srinagar is concerned. But, these visuals have become a day thing. Every day, something or the other being reported.
Absolutely, Preeti. Basically, after the week-long closure of the colleges here in the Kashmir Valley, today the government decided to reopen the colleges across the Kashmir Valley, and they were open in the morning. In fact, I spoke early in the morning to the Education Minister, who is also the top leader in the PDP. He himself said that they are going to do a time-bound inquiry into the incident which led these state-long and particularly valley-wide protests by the students, particularly the college students in the Kashmir Valley. And so far, he was hopeful that probably there will be the college activities nicely going on in the day, but so far we are listening reports of some again protests by the students in some colleges, and that is something worrying for the state administration as well as the government.
All right, this has happened when, schools have reopened. What is expected, Ashraf? Because every day we are witnessing, especially where students are concerned, where various parts of Kashmir clashing with the security forces.
Preeti, that is absolutely, which is the concerning. So far we had seen that how the stone pelters were differentiated from the rest of the population of the Kashmir Valley. But today, not only the Education Minister himself, Altaf Bukhari, defended the stone pelters by saying that this is a way of protest and there is a problem in Kashmir which needs equally to dealt politically. And same was the language of the Chief Minister of the state as even in the Delhi. One of the line which was not read by the experts, he repeatedly twice said that unless and until the stone pelting and the bullets and guns will not stop in the Kashmir Valley, we are not expecting any peace in the valley. She was clearly indicating towards the security forces, because there are allegations that there were the protesters in the Kashmir Valley, but the way they were dealt by the security forces by bullets, because on the election day 8 people lost their lives.
Right.
Then we saw in other violence many got injured, including the 54 students of the college. So completely the line taken by the Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister is that if there is the stone pelting, they are not all the anti-nationals, but the way they are being dealt by the security forces, including the Jammu and Kashmir police as well as the CRPF, that is not the way. We have to stop both. As on one side there should be some kind of stoppage on the stone pelting, on other side there should be some kind of restraint from the security forces, so that there could not be further casualties or deaths in the valley that provokes the situation very fast. That has been assessed by the Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti, and that was conveyed even to the Home Minister today in ongoing meeting, as our sources tell. And probably this is the way that now the Jammu and Kashmir state government has reached to the conclusion that they think that the situation in the Kashmir Valley is deteriorating day after day, and it is very tough for them to carry on in the same situation, the governance in the Kashmir Valley. That is why the Chief Minister went to appeal the Prime Minister of the country as well as the Home Minister of country to help her to restore the normalcy in the valley. And the statement what came out from the J&K Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti.
All right, Ashraf, stay on with us. We're getting in reactions on that story. We have General G.D. Bakshi on the phone line with us. General, it's with what's happening right now in the valley, juxtaposed with the Chief Minister coming in to the national capital to try and broker peace, to see if the atmosphere can better. Now, how much do you think, if you put these two pictures together, that this is an exercise in futility?
I would say this is an exercise in futility because of the simple fact that please go to the root causes. The root causes are the Wahhabization, the radicalization, the abject communalization of the valley, its conversion into one vast ghetto like there are ghettos in Paris, there are ghettos in Brussels, which have been made no areas for the police and security forces. That is precisely what they are trying to do. They are trying to whip up sentiments on the basis of religion. This is no freedom struggle. This is one vast communal ruin.
All right,
They
appreciate.
have 450,000 Kashmiri Pandits have been ethnically cleansed from that area. And this is a new tactic of doing stone pelting. It is incited in the mosques. Even the students go to the mosques and they get incited, and they are. Then there are these WhatsApp
Right.
networks functioning from across the line of control. There are these mobile texting. There are the social media which are being extensively employed to whip up crowds, flash mobs, to do stone pelting on the security forces whenever they are engaged in encounters. They have lost the battle of the Kalashnikov. They are trying to win it by stone pelting. And as far as all this talk of a political initiative, well, I mean, what have these politicians been doing? Why have they not been reaching out? The valley politicians have not been reaching out to these people. On the contrary, they are trying to whip it up so that they can take advantage of this situation. They can, nest their own feathers in terms of political gain. That is what they have been exploiting this situation for. What greater autonomy can be given to Jammu and Kashmir beyond what has been given already? And let's be quite clear, the problem is only with the valley. It is not with Jammu, it is not with Ladakh, it is not with Kargil, it is not with all the other districts, just the 5 districts of the valley. 7% of the land area. Now, this is not, they haven't colonized Jammu, they haven't colonized Ladakh and Kargil, that they will, speak on behalf of each and everyone there. This is one communal ghetto that has been turned rabid with all this communal hatred. If communalism is wrong in Gujarat, it is wrong in the valley also. It is equally wrong in the valley to whip up these kind of sentiments and try and get the two nation theory going again. And I think we need to stand up firm against it.
Right. All right, appreciate you joining us, Major General Bakshi. We're going to cut across to Kamaljeet Sandhu, who's right now joining us outside the Home Ministry. Kamal, I believe the Chief Minister, Mehbooba Mufti, is now meeting the Home Minister. Can you get us details, please?
Well, yes, the meeting has been on for almost 40 minutes now, so obviously this is going to be a serious meeting. This is not just time for soul searching and introspection, this is also to look for solutions in a crisis-torn state of Jammu and Kashmir, and particularly as the valley continues to dip in a spiral of violence. There is a feeling that there seems to be a blame game between the PDP and BJP, obviously blaming each other for the sort of statements, the other for lack of control in Kashmir Valley itself. The other part is also about tackling, and obviously Mehbooba Mufti coming out and stating that she believes in talks with separatists, talks with Pakistan. She's reiterated that in India Today conclave. She's reiterated that today. So very clearly she has something in mind. But yes, what we've seen from the centre is that the approach is mostly that law and order is a state subject. Perhaps state is better suited to answer. And obviously with the state forces, the Central Armed Police Force, which is the CRPF, and the other security forces in the hands of the state government. But yes, even as there seems to be only a spiral of violence, now the latest being that students are coming out in the streets, whether it is in South Kashmir and even in Srinagar, it is only still looking as if the situation is grim. So what is the solution really looking at? And perhaps that's where the trouble really lies. The PDP believes there should be talks with the separatists. The BJP believes that this is not a right time. There is too much stone pelting, there is too much at stake. Remember, the EC's own 3-member team is visiting South Kashmir. They're going to be evaluating the situation. The polls have already been pushed to May 25th, which seems to be a cause of concern. But how will you get in the students? How are you going to really manage? Is military solution, is sending the Central Armed Police Force the only solution? Perhaps many are giving a different view, saying too much time has already been lost, too much water is flowing flown under the bridge. This is a time for crisis. There's also a talk about how governor's rule is perhaps going to be an answer, perhaps rushing in more security forces, controlling the situation. But the fact remains that since Burhan Wani, the HM commander's death, there has been a lot of time which was given to the state government, yet they've not managed to rake in one of the elements. The other is too much relying on security forces to manage a certain situation. And third is what people are saying is an absence of governance, not just in Srinagar city, but throughout Kashmir Valley, which remains a massive cause of concern. The other bigger security aspect about how Pakistan continues to push in terrorists through the international border, through the LOC, the youth getting disturbed, they're joining in obviously these particular anti-national elements, more stone pelting happening. So they're looking at a wide variety of issues. Meanwhile, there seems to be also a concern about how there seems to be a video war, WhatsApp videos coming out. Now remember, there has been a crackdown in the past 1 month and even now on the WhatsApp groups which are generating a lot of hate and spewing venom, getting stone pelters out on the street to encounter sites. But this is obviously a disturbing trend, that stone pelting which was limited to Maisuma or perhaps outside Jama Masjid in Srinagar is now spreading throughout the valley, including rural Kashmir, and that the government has not been able to reach out to these particular elements and perhaps even reach out in a certain sense or talk to them, and that is where the disturbance really continues. While the centre believes that the onus lies with the state government on the other hand is reaching out to the centre to get in more solution, and perhaps that is something which seems to be fleeting Kashmir at this point of time.
All right, Kamal, we're going to come back to you for more updates on that story. Meanwhile, we're getting in more breaking news where the alliance with the PDP and the BJP is concerned. Well, Jammu and Kashmir's Education Minister Altaf Bukhari has defended stone pelters in the valley. He has ordered time-bound probe in Pulwama Degree College incident in which 54 students were injured. The incident has triggered massive protests by college students across the valley. Altaf Bukhari also defended stone pelters in Kashmir and said that it is the way of protest and said Kashmir is a political problem which needs a political solution.
On an episode which happened in Degree College, Pulwama, it is being inquired into, inquiry has been ordered and it is being inquired into. Whoever are culprits will be dealt according to law. So they were protesting against that, and we did allow the protests on Monday. Then we thought to contain the protests, it is better to close down the colleges. We kept on monitoring. Schools were not closed, schools were functioning. High schools, higher secondaries were functioning. 1 or 2 days we closed the higher secondaries and the university was functioning. I'm sure today my students will go back to their colleges. They understand that academics is very important for them.
They think that the PDP could not deliver in the Jammu and Kashmir and could not restore the peace back in the valley. They are opting for the president's rule. Did you agree that that is the option?
I don't agree to your conclusion. Then the Prime Minister on 2nd of April would not have spoken that he is convinced with how Ms. Mehbooba Mufti has handled the situation in Jammu Kashmir. So I don't agree with your this assessment. There is a periodical review which keeps on happening in Delhi about every state. So it must be happening about Jammu and Kashmir also.